Today, we're journeying back to ancient Persia to dive into one of the most powerful and tragic stories ever told, the epic of Rostam and Sohrab. And let me tell you, this is a tale that really sticks with you, one where the greatest battles aren't fought with swords, but in the heart.
You know this quote? It absolutely nails the heart of this entire story. The real villain here isn't some monster or a scheming king. No, it's a secret. Just one piece of information, kept hidden out of love and fear, that ends up setting a devastating destiny in motion.
Okay, so picture this. Our story kicks off right in the middle of a battlefield. You've got two absolute giants, like two mountains staring each other down, ready to clash. These are the champions of their armies, and the fate of entire nations is riding on this one single fight.
So who are these guys? Well, on one side you have Rostam. The man is a living legend, the unbeatable champion of Iran, basically the superhero of his time. He's all about experience and legendary strength. And on the other side, we have Sohrab. He's young, he's explosive, and he's a total mystery. No one has any idea where this kid came from. And this is the gut-wrenching question that just hangs over everything. How in the world can a father and a son be standing there ready to kill each other and not have a clue? It's mind-boggling. To get the answer, well, we've got to rewind the clock.
To really get what's going on, we have to go back to where it all started. And believe it or not, this entire tragedy boils down to two things: a secret and an armband. That's it. These two things are about to define everything.
It all began with a whirlwind romance. The great hero Rostam has one single fateful night with a princess named Shahnameh. But by dawn, duty calls and he has to leave. Before he goes, though, he gives her this precious armband. He says, look, if we have a daughter, put this in her hair. But if we have a son, give this to him. It's how I'll know him. This little object, this armband, becomes the one physical key to the entire truth. And sure enough, a son, Sohrab, is born. But here's where it all takes a tragic turn. His mother, Tamini, makes a fateful decision. She tells him his father is a great hero, but she never tells him his name. Why would she do that? Well, she's terrified. She knows that if Sohrab finds out he's a son of the great Rostam, he'll be swept up into a life of war, and she'll lose him. She's trying to protect him, but in doing so, she accidentally seals his fate. So now we've got Sohrab all grown up, and he is an absolute powerhouse, an incredible warrior. But his whole life is driven by this one, all-consuming mission. He has to find the legendary father he's only ever heard stories about. But here's the thing about a noble quest. It can be twisted. And that's exactly what happens. The enemies of Iran, the Iranians, they see this kid searching for his dad, and they think, aha, perfect. They totally exploit his ignorance. They manipulate him, telling him, you want to find your father? You got to prove yourself. The path is through war. Go invade Iran and defeat their greatest champion. They know exactly who that champion is. They are deliberately pointing a son at his own father, and Sohrab has no idea.
And that brings us right back to where we started. Back to that battlefield. Those two mountains are about to collide. We have reached the climax, the point of no return, the moment that will forever be known as the cry that came too late.
For 3 days, can you imagine? For 3 whole days, these two titans just go at it. The ground literally shakes. Neither one can get the upper hand. And the whole time, both of them feel this strange sense of familiarity, this weird connection they just can't place. But, you know, they're in a fight for their lives, so they just push it aside. And then, it happens. The critical moment. In a shocking display of strength, youth overcomes experience. Sohrab, the son, throws Rostam, the father, to the ground. He's got him pinned. The battle is his. He is literally holding his father's life in his hands, and he doesn't even know it. But Rostam, being a veteran warrior, thinks fast. He pulls a trick. He basically lies, saying, hey kid, by the rules of combat, you have to beat a champion twice before you can kill him. It's a total lie, just a desperate ploy to save himself. And Sohrab, because he's young and honorable, he believes him. He lets him up. He gives his own father a second chance. Unbelievable. So they go at it again. And this time, Rostam, shaken and desperate, summons every last ounce of his legendary power. He strikes one final, fatal blow. Just think about the awful irony there. The son who had just spared his father is now dying at his father's hand. As Sohrab is lying on the ground, dying, he looks at the man who defeated him. He warns him that his great father will surely avenge his death, and then he describes his proof. He talks about a special armband, a token that was supposed to identify him to his father.
You can just imagine the blood draining from Rostam's face. He rips open Sohrab's armor and he sees it, the armband, the one he left with Shahnameh all those years ago. In that one horrible instant, his entire world, his victory, his legacy, his honor, it all just turns to dust. He realizes he has just killed his own son.
So after all that devastation, what's the takeaway? What's the lesson here? It has nothing to do with who was stronger. The powerful moral of this story is that the true enemy, the greatest enemy of all, was not knowing.
And that's the real tragedy, isn't it? Rostam was a hero to his country, but he never got the chance to be a father. Sohrab spent his entire life looking for a father he would only meet in death. All their incredible heroism was turned into a disaster simply by ignorance. Rostam wasn't defeated by Sohrab's sword, he was defeated by fate itself. And so we come full circle, right back to where we began. This ancient story echoes through the centuries with this simple, heartbreaking message. Sometimes the biggest enemy we'll ever face isn't an army or a monster. It's the truth we just don't know. So I'll just leave you with this final, haunting thought. What if his mother had just told him his father's name? What if Rostam had just asked the young warrior about his family? If that one little piece of information had been shared, how would destiny itself have been completely rewritten? It really makes you think, doesn't it?